Hey, hey, hey. Welcome on back, sacred ones. Welcome on back to Transcendent Love. This is Nettie. I am Nettie. And this is the Transcendent Love channel where I teach embodiment and most often do that using my sacred self model that Spirit has given me and by way of channeled messages. Funny how it all goes together. But in the channeled messages, I rely heavily on Spirit to guide and lead in the direction that we need to go for each and every message. And today will be no different. So here we go. Because I have many messages, many messages. So a couple things. Hopefully y'all are fantabulous and doing quite fine and wonderful. I am doing fantabulous myself, and everything is all right. Everything is actually great, more than all right, more than okay, spectacular. And I realized that things don't necessarily feel okay for many people, and if you are in that group of people, just take heart, and stick around for the message, and perhaps Spirit will have something for you that will encourage you in this way. I feel like it will encourage you. Take only what fits and nothing that doesn't. If it's the entire message that fits, then you take it. If it's not, take what you need and leave the rest. Don't force anything to fit. So, a couple things, you all. We are on the cusp of a full moon. And for many of you who have been here for a little while now, you know that I always partake in full moon rituals. It's just a part of my custom. It's a part of my self care routine. So that's just what I do. I like to be very well prepared going into a new moon phase because the moon is symbolic in a number of ways, and it kind of just depends on where the moon falls in the solar system, which planet, which alignment, and how your birth chart lines up with it on how it actually affects you. But more often than not, it's a collective energy that can be felt through and through. I know some people don't believe that we are affected in any way by the moon, the sun, the planets. And if that's not your thing, then it's just not your thing. It's my thing. So that's okay. Either way. Um, yeah. So I find it really helpful and useful. And also, sometimes there's an energy that you don't really identify with or know to identify with that is influencing or has a measure of influence at the time, and often that is the moon. So I've found for me, and perhaps many of you have found this same measure of energy. Often, whenever there's a full moon and you're on the cusp of it for probably about that week before, and sometimes even leading up 2 weeks, you can feel a little more tired than usual. That's full moon energy a lot of the time. And you can feel a little out of sorts. You can feel, and when I say out of sorts, it's like some uncharacteristic things happening. And I'm being pushed to this example, like, and if you don't really readily identify with the effects of the moon, that saying, or perhaps you grew up with people that talked about like different things happening during the full moon, or like casually would say, it's a lot of crazy people out, like it's just a lot going on, must be a full moon. Or they would talk about animals acting uncharacteristic, or animals, dogs specifically, barking a lot during this time, and they might be like, it must be a full moon. Some might be able to identify with that. I remember kind of casually hearing that as I was growing up, and I never knew like that it really meant anything. And I think a lot of times we say things that we hear said often and don't really know that they actually mean more than we know. That's one of those things. Anyway, some of you may feel a bit energized by this energy as well. For me, it's for example, this time around today, I got up and I started cleaning. I didn't change my whole living room around. I changed the dining room situation up. I didn't pull out the Christmas tree, getting ready to put the Christmas tree up. I like Christmas. Christmas time really fall into Christmas. It's just the warmth that it just gives me a lot of like feel good emotions, and so I really just love this. It's just a cozy time. It ain't about the presents, it ain't about none of the commercial stuff, but I do be liking to put my tree up just because it made me feel good, so I still do that. I ain't buying nobody nothing. None of that, but I do love this time of year, and usually I am a really big on like giving gifts, but that's not gonna be. I'm gonna go on and keep my coins this year and see what it do and what it does in this current economy. We're gonna see about some things moving around and getting shaken up. So you do what you feel with your money, and I'm gonna do the same thing. Um, all that said, it's just I haven't felt this measure of like motivation and drive to go ahead and just clean up in the space as well as I did today. Now, I keep it clean. It ain't really no like big mess or nothing like that here, but I just was in that spirit of cleaning today. So I did some of the bigger things like moving furniture and stuff around. Normally, it's just like a little casual clean. You wash the dishes, you clean up the counter, sweep the floor, the whole mopping, that sort of thing. But today we moving furniture. It's some furniture moving around in here. As you can see, or maybe you can tell, many of you who have been here, you can notice this seat over here. It's placed at a different position. I done moved the table into this space to make some more room for the Christmas tree in the main, one of the main spaces. So I'll be sitting here. Who knows? I might keep it this way. Anyway, there's a lot of talking to say that it's just some different things that happen during the full moon that can often be attributed to the energetic wave that carries during the time. So that said, for those who are interested in doing any kind of rituals to go into this full moon, you can do some like a burning bowl, anything that you want to give up and not return to. You can burn it safely. Like write the name of it on a piece of paper, burn it in a bowl. Um, People you want to cut ties with, you can put that in your burning bowl. Um, any measure of thing, anything you want to give up, you can write it on a piece of paper and put it in a burning bowl. Um, this is a perfect time to smudge. The full moon is actually, I want to say the fourth. Oh, what's today? No, no. It's tomorrow night going into, I believe, the fifth going into the sixth, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, there are money rituals you can do. Put some cinnamon at the threshold of your door. You can blow some cinnamon in, or you can blow some cinnamon out. Um, and the funnier part about all of this is that whenever, like, I've never been real big on these sorts of things, and I never thought about many rituals, and spirit taught me more so about these kinds of things, just sprinkling them. And I don't listen to people on the internet talking about like different rituals and stuff like that. But there have been many times where I've just been in here in my zone and just talking to spirit and just felt heavily um, like to put cinnamon at the door. And I was like, cinnamon at the door. So I ended up having to Google it to see what it's most commonly like related to and why, like to kind of get a feel for why I would be, and to make sure I wasn't like tripping. Cause I'm like, cinnamon at the door sounds crazy. But if you know me, then you know that I'm gonna do whatever spirit say. So so I was gonna do it and then ask questions in whatever was gonna be on the other side of that. It was gonna be that. I know for sure that that's not me, because that's not something that I'm thinking about. I'm never thinking about wasting cinnamon. Well, in my mind, I would be feeling like that would be a waste of cinnamon. So that is why I wouldn't be thinking about pouring out no cinnamon or blowing no cinnamon. None of that stuff. So characteristically not me. And one of the other things that I always do at this point is moon water. You can go back and look at, I have at least one video on how I prepare the moon water if you're interested in that. So just for informational purposes, if you are interested in that kind of thing, there is that for your full moon rituals. So moving on from that, I'll say this. I want to say it's known as a beaver moon, and it's in Taurus. So many of you, because it's in Taurus, you might be feeling like more drive to do more work. Like you've been determined to get things done, determined to get to the bag, so that and that's where that work comes in, the drive, the motivation, determination. You're trying to get to the bag, so you've been making sure you're putting in the necessary amount of work to get it done. So you might feel like you feel more of a drive during this time to go ahead and do some things to make it happen. That's one of the other characteristics there, in keep with this Taurus energy that accompanies this moon. Even while you're working, it's going to be significant that you do not overwork. It's going to be significant that you take care of yourself, take care of your mental, and make sure that you are nourishing yourself by way of grounding. So find some ways, go put your feet in some grass, go lay on some grass, get you a grounding sheet. Going forward, this is going to be a major component, a major energy throughout this next moon cycle for you. So as much as you feel like you want to work and get more done, make sure that you're taking care of yourself, because it don't profit you nothing to beat yourself down in the process while you're getting stuff done. And you don't have to be a Taurus to be affected by this energy. This is going to be many of us. It's collective energy. So keep that in mind when you find yourself working. Listen to your body. When your body is saying to slow down and you need a break, slow down and take a break. That is the only way you will be able to continue going. That is the self-love component. You got to make sure that you are being harmonious and balanced in this setup. That said, Spirit was talking to me about mastery and how mastery is embodiment. Embodiment, this whole segment on embodiment and mastery is your sacred power. It is you walking fully and totally in your own light and wielding your power as Spirit has led you and given you the inclination to do. You are well able to manifest, visualize, and use your imagination to manifest all of the things that your heart desires. And you have moved into a place where you are more proud now and okay with that as a real thing. You've moved beyond the point of caring a whole lot about what people think. Although, that's not saying that there isn't still some work to be done, but you should be proud. Be very proud. Because it's things like this that get you to this embodiment. But we always talk about self-love. And if you're new here, I talk about self-love quite a bit because self-love is your root system. You are a tree here. And in my sacred self model, you are a tree. And that tree is composed of 4 parts. 3, technically 4. You have the root system, you have the trunk, and you have the fruit. The fruit are going to be branches and leaves. So if you separate the branches and the leaves, that's 2 additional parts instead of 1. So however you feel like you can best relate to it, you can relate to it that way. So the entirety of the tree is your embodiment. It is you walking in your sacred power, you standing up strong like a tree. But the only way that you can walk and move fully and be as strong and well equipped as this tree is if you have a good root system. Your root system is self-love. That is where you are well able to nurture and care for you. That's bringing yourself into a grounded place, and you're taking up nutrients in this space. This is by way of caring for, nurturing yourself in all the ways that you would require. You're following and becoming more comfortable with this different version of you, with this discovery of who you are as God. So you are in a place where you're accepting and you're allowing, and it is the full, I'm hearing, nursery area in life. It is foundation, and it's necessary for you to be able to move in empowerment. Empowerment comes next. That is your expression. That is where you begin to hear more, see more, feel more, and get acclimated to many of the gifts and openness that Spirit has for you. Perhaps, and you discovering even still in this empowerment or expressive place, the places that have been there all of this time, but you're remembering them. You're being reintroduced to them. Some of them are things that you have experienced, but maybe didn't recognize that it was a gift. And you didn't know how to use it readily. And that's where your practice comes in. That's the part that is expressive. That is the empowerment. And the more you begin to express and experiment and use those gifts, you get into a place of more acceptance. That acceptance leads into your embodiment, your sacredness, you moving about in your power. So that is what the sacred self model is about. And that is where you fit in this whole setup. That way you know how to, like, where you are in the process. Are you at root level? You still figuring it out? You're still working through some of those self-love components? Or are you in the expressive, expansive, empowerment stage? Or are you in the full-on embodiment and mastery stage? Are you budding fruit? Are you comfortable with yourself as God? If you are at the embodiment stage, Spirit is saying to you, during this time, it's going to be important for you to recognize that you have stepped into this place of mastery and you're well able to do all of the things that you think you can do. It's all about what it is you believe yourself to be. If you believe that you can, then you can. If you believe that you can't, then you can't. But you need to be sure about what it is that you believe. And I imagine that you've gathered that since Spirit has told me to talk about the mastery component of it. Because many of you, it's like discovering your power, like discovering a new power. And so maybe some of you have discovered that you could do something that you never knew that you could do. I'm getting this visual of like you know how in like cartoons and like X-Men and all these different interesting that X-Men would be the example. Cuz it's kind of like that. You've been in an incubator cultivating like away at the school these gifts, but it's just like whenever one of those gifted kids in the movie or in the cartoon, they do something that causes their power to show, and then they're like, oh crap, I didn't even know I could do that. How do I do that? And then for the next little bit you see them experimenting with this power. So that is your place at this point. Don't be afraid of it. At first it might be a little startling because you didn't really recognize that you could do it. That's okay. But don't let it scare you. Just begin to ask for guidance on the better way to actually utilize that to your greatest advantage and for the good of humanity. Because we all work together as one. We do better together. So we all have need to utilize our gifts for the good as a collective, one for another, to make this world a better place. We're better together. Anyway, yeah, so Spirit just wants you to be encouraged in this area of mastery. And the point of me going through the sacred self model tree is for you to know what that looks like for you, where you are in this measure of mastery. And with this full moon, even more so outside of this full moon, Spirit brought to my attention again something that I've been told a while back about making sure you're taking care of yourself. Now, we always talk about making sure you take care of yourself because you are your sole priority. And you being selfish in this way is your self-love component. It is your root system. It is the thing that is absolutely necessary for you to get and stay going in the ways that please you and that will help you to get to the best place or best life that you desire to live. The highest version of yourself, if you will. So it's this aspect of self-care that is done, like it's a component of how you live your life when you're not being perceived, when you're not being watched. Although that's the other part of this. Spirit is saying that you are being watched by people, you are being watched by angels, you are being watched by your ancestors and spirit guides, but you're also being watched by other entities in the world. But it's not at all that you think. Some of them are looking at you for an example. Some of them are looking at you because they are just trying to figure you out. Some of them are looking at you in envy because they don't have the guts to live for themselves like you do. Others are looking for ways to be a blessing to you, to take care of you. They've been set in place as your earth angels. So you got that going for you. And that sounds like a really good thing to me if you ask me. But All of that, Spirit, I didn't got off track. Oh, all of that to say, or to get back to this point where making sure you're taking care of yourself and you're implementing self-care rituals that are for you, and that you're doing those things for you. It's not about who sees you do them or that nobody sees you doing them, because self-care is not dependent upon, it should not be dependent upon who sees it. Self-care is for you. It is a sacred act that you are doing for your highest good, because you feel good about it, because you enjoy it, because it is nourishment to your soul. Buy yourself flowers, cook yourself dinner, just treat yourself well in the absence of other people being able to perceive you. Just because nobody is around to see you doesn't mean that you shouldn't get dressed if you're staying at home all day. Just because nobody's going to see you is not a good reason for you not to shower today. Make sure that you are treating yourself well, because it is what you do. It is what you enjoy doing, because you are worthy. And don't, and so Spirit was saying that the root of this behavior is and stems from performance. So you don't perform self-care. You conduct and live in self-care because you care about yourself, because you are worthy outside of being perceived by people. So make sure that whatever you would do going out, that you go ahead and do those things. Now, you ain't got to get fully dressed, but look good for yourself. You shouldn't only be presentable if because somebody else is going to see you. You shouldn't only clean up the house because somebody is coming over. Clean it up because you live there and you think better in a space that is clean. Clean it up because it feels better when it's clean. Feel better because you like it clean. I mean, clean it because you like it clean. Don't let nothing you do be on account of somebody else. Also, Spirit is saying to make sure that you have in place other rituals that are meaningful and are a direct representation or show of you loving and taking care of yourself for yourself when no one is around. Making up your bed, putting your clothes away, folding your clothes, not leaving them clothes in the dryer for 16 and a half weeks, brushing your teeth before you go to bed, washing your face before you go to bed, as well as in the morning. How does the highest version of yourself, the version of you that has everything you want, how do they live? What kind of person are they? Think about that. And whatever their rich ass rituals are, go on and begin. That's how you get there. You start doing it now. Embody that. That's embodiment. That's mastery. So, anyway, that's the message. I leave you with your energy and I take mine back. And I leave you with this message in love and in light, only in our ways. And until next time, if you have an issue figuring out how best to get started on this self-love journey, click the link in the description below and you will find my rising sacred rise ritual. It's a rising ritual that gets you started on your day, directing your day in power and in love to and for you, and for the love of you, instead of just allowing what the world puts on you or bestows on you to go ahead and go. Anyway, if you're interested in that, it is free. Click the link in the description and handle that. Get that for yourself. Until next time, love and light.